श्री स्वामीनारायण भगवाननी जय, अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराजनी जय, गुरु हरि प्रमुख स्वामी महाराजनी जय, गुरु हरि महंत स्वामी महाराजनी जय, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज शताब्दी महोत्सवनी। This evening in Houston, as we have gathered to remember His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, thousands have packed this hall. Thousands perhaps are waiting in the mandir, and hundreds of thousands are watching the program live. This itself speaks volumes for the love that we shared for someone whom we cherished so deeply. But just imagine what it was like on 13th August, exactly a year ago. We could not have imagined in the wildest of our dreams that this day would come. But it did. The small village of Sarangpur, just 2,000 people, was flooded by millions. Just a few months ago, there was a national conference for administration in India. The senior most IPS, IS officers had got together and they made a note. Till now, the largest gathering for anyone's final rites was that of Mahatma Gandhi in 1948, when 2 million people had gathered in Delhi. For Sardar Patel in Mumbai in 1950, 1 million people had gathered on their own. But for His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj, more than 2.1 million people gathered in Sarangpur. There was no transport. It is a remote village. But people came because they loved Him, but more so because He loved them more. Each one of us in this hall, each one of us watching, they feel that Swami loved us like there was nobody else on this earth. And not only that, for 4 days and 4 nights, people just streamed in from nearby villages, faraway cities, distant countries. Embassies remained open on Sundays. Many of you waited 50 hours on the airport to catch a flight, to catch a glimpse. But what was more moving, because we were all there, most of the sadhus hadn't eaten, slept for 4 days and 4 nights. And we remember that there were old men on dying deathbed who specially came knowing that this would be their last darshan. And there were young mothers. Just imagine young mothers with babies just 1 day old, bringing them, hoping that their child would have their first darshan of Pramukh Swami. This was the magic of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Numbers here are not important. The feeling was so overwhelming. In fact, it was crushing. We felt as if the sun had set on the Sampradaya, as if our whole world had collapsed. The feeling was not just for us, it was universal. The Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijaybai Rupani, he said, Gujarat feels orphaned. Our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, he literally broke down and said that I have lost my father. The grandson of the King of Syria. Once again I repeat, the grandson of the King of Syria, Nazim al-Qudsi. He said he is missing his mother. The religious leaders, they came forth, and Sri Sri Ravi Shankar ji said Pramukh Swami Maharaj was the greatest saint of his time and our time. As squares and stadiums were named after Swamiji, as roads and riverfronts were named after him, as auditoriums and flyovers were named after Pramukh Swami Maharaj, India paid tribute in both of the parliaments. But that was not alone. From Australia to the faraway distant land of Bahrain, you will be surprised. An Islamic nation coming forward. The Prime Minister of Bahrain, His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, under his patronage, paid a tribute to His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj. This was the first time a Hindu sadhu had been paid a tribute. But that's where the most remarkable idea came forth from. The secretary, Ibrahim al-Dosari, while he was speaking towards the people, he said, listen carefully. He said, good leaders lead by their presence. Great leaders lead even in their absence. Pramukh Swami Maharaj will continue to lead us forever and ever and ever. And we feel it because his love was not a love that was temporal or temporary. His love never expired, as just Narayan Muni Swami mentioned to us. His love never expired. His love keeps us inspired. And because it was eternal, we feel eternally inspired. It's important that we understand that it inspired us not just for a moment, for a day, for months, for years, but it inspired us for lives. 2 months after Swami Shri passed away and his tribute ceremonies were done all over the world, one very senior IPS officer, Keshav Kumar, he happens to be the Director General of Anti-Corruption Bureau of whole of Gujarat. Very honest, upright man full of integrity. He phoned me and he said, Brahma Vihari Swami, aap mein abhi mandir aa jao. I said, okay sir, please come. He came with so much energy, so much inspiration, so much hope on his face, and he entered our place and he said, Swami, देखो अभी 9 बज गया है तो बापा को फोन लगाओ. I was dumbstruck. He said, स्वामी जी बापा को फोन लगाओ ना, उन्होंने खाना खा लिया होगा, अभी 9 बज गए, वो बैठे होंगे तो फोन लगाओ. He even knew that Swami's routine, that he would have eaten by 9, he would be ready for a phone call. And very slowly and solemnly I said, Keshav, you know, Bapa is no longer with us. That's when he looked at me and I said, but you are also in his Shraddhanjali Sabha. I'm wondering why you have come. And that's when he broke down like a child and in crying and crying tears, he said, Swami, मेरे सबसे बड़ी भूल ये है, मैं उनको भूल नहीं सकता. I remember, I'm not a Gujarati, I'm not a Swaminarayan. The moment I entered Gujarat, the first person who garlanded me was Pramukh Swami. When I was about to get married, the first person who blessed me was Pramukh Swami Maharaj. For my children, I sought blessings from him. Every time I got a transfer, I sought blessings from him. Whenever there was a challenging case, I sought blessings from him. Whenever I got promoted, it was he who blessed me. Actually, I had come with some of the finest news of my life, and now I am searching for him. He inspired every part of my life. Pramukh Swami's inspiration was a package deal. Once you are with him, you are there forever with him, and he was always there for you. And his inspiration were not the great and the big things that we see in life. I believe all of you see him, we hear him, we constantly pine for him, because it is the small things that he did to us that we remember so deeply. How small things change and make you into big things. The classic example is of our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, who often quotes this example. He says in 1981, when he was nobody, a very small social worker, not even somewhere in the ranks of any political party. So he told us that once in 1981, when Pramukh Swami was seated on a sofa, next to Pramukh Swami was a very renowned singer, Anup Jalota, and Pramukh Swami was talking to him. Modiji told me that he was sitting cross-legged on the floor. Pramukh Swami was not even paying attention to him or talking to him. As he was engrossed in talking to Anup Jalota, as Pramukh Swami had his leg crossed over and Modi could see the sole of Pramukh Swami's foot, he started observing the lines of the feet. When he was curiously looking at the lines of the feet, slowly he thought maybe he might have some 1 or 2 lines as Pramukh Swami's. So he slowly took his foot up to check his foot lines. That's when instantly Pramukh Swami told him કે આપણા બેવમાં સરખું જ છે, જિંદગીભર સેવા છે, જોવાની જરૂર નથી. We were born to serve. He says that mantra has kept me going in times of difficulty, in times of low, in times of problems, in times of challenges, in times of everything. A simple inspiration can take you to the heights of life. This was the magic of Pramukh Swami. But his inspirations were not limited to one life. They outlived us and they'll outlast us. Amongst the most standing and visible inspiration of Pramukh Swami are the 1200 temples that he has created. The wonders of Akshardham that he has made. Just as we today marvel and wonder at the great pyramids, Angkor Wat, the great China Wall, I tell you, generations henceforth will marvel and wonder at Akshardham as to who and why they were built. But there is going to be a small difference. Whatever Pramukh Swami does, he puts in the spark of life. Angkor Wat, pyramids, and the Great Wall of China no longer are functional. They are just great tourist attractions. But for thousands of years, Akshardham will carry the spark of Swaminarayan Bhagavan and be alive and keep inspiring people. These are the visible inspirations, but the invisible inspiration that Swami Shri has broadcast. Day in and day out, millions of people and pilgrims visit these mandirs quietly, privately, silently. How do you measure? How do you evaluate? When thousands who come and many who may be depressed or suicidal after coming to the temples, when they go back uplifted, elevated, ready and happy to face life again, how do you measure and quantify that? How do you measure when a couple which is contemplating serious divorce comes to the temple and decides to reunite again? How do you measure this worth and value? How do you measure when children and youngsters come to the temple and suddenly they are inspired to bring their old age parents back from the old homes? These are immeasurables and invisible inspirations that make people, continually make people good and spread the values of humanity. Apart from that, the most visible inspiration of Pramukh Swami is he did not keep spirituality just limited to the temples, the scriptures, and the sadhus. He took spirituality and turned it into a social force for change. Of course, BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha was there, but Pramukh Swami Maharaj spearheaded it and turned it into a global organization that has brought change in almost every corner of this world. Doing more than 160 humanitarian activities. He believed that being good is not good enough. You need to be good for someone and something. whether it's educational, environmental, whether it's medical, whether it's social, cultural, or spiritual, whether it's a disaster relief operation in Bhuj, or whether it is planting of trees, I would just take out one leaf from his myriad activities that develop and help society, one leaf. Can you credit anyone on this earth for freeing 4 million people from addictions? You would have to credit Pramukh Swami Maharaj not only personally, but the campaigns and the festivals he inspired has freed 4 million people from addictions. That is a visible figure. Please don't get enchanted by any figure. It's a visible figure, but the invisible strength that Bapa gave to everyone was the confidence and the courage to stand up and say no to drugs and addictions. The courage to say no to corruption. The courage to say no to crime. The courage to say no to injustice and violence, to intolerance. I believe that this is the secret, invisible inspiration that everybody carries within their heart. To take another leaf. Today we are at a situation in the world, if the world is listening, we are at a situation in this world where we are constantly worried about our future, the sustenance and survival of our planet and its people. We have the challenge of energy, of pollution, of climate change, of terrorism. They are not just dreams, they are reality. And seriously, thinkers are thinking of finding another planet where man can move. Of course, conferences, conventions, agreements, and summits, they help. But do you think even if we create the best environment and a perfect planet and a first-rate ecology, but if we produce third-rate human beings, will we have a future? Swami told Kalam that ultimately human beings are the most important factor in development. Pramukh Swami recognized this, and Swami created a generation of children. They are the future. A generation of teenagers, a generation of youths who respect life, who respect values, and who respect the force that keeps us alive. When a BAPS child was asked what he wants to do when he grows up, when a BAPS child was asked what he wants to do when he grows up, he said, "When I grow up, I want to take care of my parents like they are taking care of me." It might sound simplistic. It might sound naive. Of course, some of them will become lawyers, doctors, professionals, professors. But to respect life and to preserve life is perhaps the biggest duty of a human being. Amidst all this scientific fascination, never to lose focus on spirituality is the way Swami Shri is developing the world. A child from Kuwait, Riddhiraj, he was selected amongst many children of the world to talk to the astronauts when the space shuttle was doing rounds of the Earth. And each of these kids were placed in different countries. When the space shuttle would go over that country, the child would be able to ask a question, one simple question. He was placed in ISRO, the Indian Scientific Research Organization. And his question was, what do astronauts eat in space? So all the scientists on the ground had prepared Riddhiraj and said, okay, when your time comes, he had to talk, being this Houston, yeah? So he had to talk to Sunita Williams saying that what do you eat in space? When his turn came, the first thing Riddhiraj said, Jai Swaminarayan, and the astronauts answered Jai Swaminarayan, then he asked the question. And all the scientists started talking amongst themselves, ke Swaminarayan ka bachcha lagta hai. With all the fascination of science, our children will not lose focus on spirituality. That is the future of mankind. That's what Pramukh Swami has done. the visible BAPS Sanstha, but the invisible value that he has penetrated into the hearts of the future of man. But more important than the temples and the transformations, perhaps more important than the Sanstha or these invisible values, is Pramukh Swami Maharaj's life itself. The Dalai Lama has said, there is one ideal for all mankind, and he is His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Apart from being a pure and profound spiritual leader, let's look at the human side alone. I ask you and challenge you to find me one name from the past or the present. Go back to history, move around, ask, do research. Find me one name, one person who has visited 17,000 villages. With some struggle, you might be able to come with the name of somebody who has been jet-setting. But now compound the figures. The same person who has visited 17,000 villages, has he visited 250,000 homes? Still compound it. The person who has visited 17,000 villages and 250,000 homes, has he read and replied 700,000 letters? Forget about the millions of people Pramukh Swami has met casually on the phone, asked their problems and given their solutions. You will not find a single person even on the human side. Pramukh Swami has given up everything, possessing nothing, asking nothing, wanting nothing. He has given us everything. It is not just that he has said the words, in the joy of others lies our own. Mahan Swami, our Guru Hari, said this morning that it is after living for others that Pramukh Swami has said, in the joy of others lies our own. He has given his entire life for others. But that again is the visible inspiration. The invisible inspiration behind his life is his singular and absolute faith in God. It is not so important what Pramukh Swami has done, but I believe what he has not done is perhaps more important. Not for once has he allowed his faith in God to fade or falter. Not once, after achieving so much, he has allowed a shade of ego or arrogance to touch his face or heart. Not once, even though in this world of big turmoil, he has never allowed hurt or hate enter his heart. He has been a pure person, but the most important factor is faith in God. People can talk about God, people can teach about God, people can preach about God, but those who can help you reach God, Pramukh Swami is amongst those who can help you reach God. It is not my experience, your experience. When our former president, Dr. Kalam, when he came to meet Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Pramukh Swami said, add in your development plan faith in God. He technically was a scientist, he did not believe it straight away. But as he understood and as he came closer to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he understood the value of faith in God. Kalam wasn't an ordinary person. As we are talking about eternal inspiration, Kalam has been the most inspiring figure India has produced perhaps in the last 20 or 30 years. Children dream of becoming like Kalam. Youths want to be as educated as him. Scientists dream about becoming an inventor like him. People who are in public office dream like becoming a person, a leader loved like him. A person who has been an inspiration and a hero for almost many of young India. He says that my inspiration was Pramukh Swami Maharaj. When he was speaking in the European Parliament and the whole of Parliament stood up and said, Dr. Kalam, we haven't heard a speech like this. Kalam writes in his book, little did they know that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was speaking through me. When he was receiving an award in Edinburgh University, the award which Charles Darwin and the likes had received, Kalam said, when I had the award in my hand, I closed my eyes and remembered Pramukh Swami Maharaj. In Sri Lanka, he remembered him. Pramukh Swami told him that whenever you think of me, I will be with you. Kalam always thought of him and he felt Pramukh Swami close to him. And that's why he says very clearly that from Socrates, I learned the value of reasoning. From Galileo, I learned the value of truth. From Lincoln, I learned the value of equality. From Mandela, I learned the value of forgiveness. From Gandhi, I learned the value of non-violence. From Buddha, I learned the value of compassion. From Confucius, I learned the value of cooperation. But the value of faith in God was taught to me by Pramukh Swami Maharaj and none other. That is why he was my ultimate teacher. He indeed transformed me. He was the highest stage of my spiritual ascent. And then he writes, he put me into a God synchronous orbit. You can teach or preach about God, but when you help somebody reach God, it's different. I remember one last incident. A chartered accountant in England in 1985. He came to see our festival. He was an atheist. His name was Brian Davis. We sadhus tried to show him our exhibition, our gates and everything. He tapped me on my shoulder and said, Swamiji, don't waste your time. I'm a committed atheist and I'm a confirmed atheist and I have never decided to believe in God. Still, I felt he was a good man. I said, then why don't you come and see our guru? You might develop some faith. I actually compelled him to come to Pramukh Swami. When he came, after meeting Pramukh Swami, he came out and told me, I still don't believe in God. But then listen to what he said. But if there is a God, and if he wants to walk on this earth, I don't think he will find anybody purer than your guru to walk on this earth. Even an inkling of if there is a God can come to the atheist from a chance introduction. I want to tell you that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was the presence and the existence of God on this earth. The energy of God does never leave us. When I said we felt the sun had set on the Sampradaya, science tells us that where the sun sets, it rises somewhere else. The sun never sets. Our spiritual science tells us that Satpurush never leaves us. You feel him. Then you feel the same Satpurush in the Satpurush that he has put in place. And I want to tell you today that it's not just on behalf of you. We sadhus, we have been close to Pramukh Swami. We've seen him close. We've seen him the way he was, the way he loved. And we want to tell you that the same shine, the same radiance, the same feeling, the same love, and the same glory all of us feel in Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj. Satpurush never leaves us. Open your heart, feel him, and I believe he will answer your prayers from within. Pramukh Swami Maharaj did not just inspire us for a life, but for generations, both visible and invisible inspirations we can feel in Mahant Swami Maharaj. Thank you very much.